Ladies and gentlemen, if I can just say welcome on this extremely beautiful morning. We couldn't be blessed with a more pleasant day for the opening of the university. It's always our special privilege to be gathered here together. So I would ask Chaplain Lowe to come and give us the invocation for the opening day.
Please join me in the spirit of prayer. We have seen you, God of many names and cultures, the source of our divine love, this summer, in the faces of our family and friends and travels and experiences and leisurely hot days. And this morning we invoke your presence now as we arise to a new day and a new university structure to carry our charges for this 175th academic year. But in so doing, we do not pretend that this was a summer without sorrow. Fatal shootings of African Americans this summer once again reveal racial injustices in our country. Orlando saw both the deadliest mass shooting and the deadliest incident of violence against LGBTQ people in U.S. history. 1 John states, "There is no fear in love, but we are afraid that we have not lived in the love of community in which we are created. Forgive us. Help us to walk the way of peace in the knowledge that we are beautifully flawed. In those imperfections which breed fear and hate, sow love and inclusivity." Throughout this academic year, help us hear our particular call to beloved Mary Baldwin community. In the spirit of transition, the Buddhist nun Pema Chodron says, "To be fully alive, fully human, and completely awake is to be continually thrown out of the nest." As we leave our college nest and soar into a university constellation, bless our work, bless our celebrations. Keep us fully awake to the wisdom of our shared traditions and the innovation of our shared visions, so that we all may give Mary Baldwin University wings to fly into the next 175 years. In the name of the same spiritual presence that brooded over these beautiful hills when Mary Julia Baldwin set foot upon them, and the same presence that accompanies us still on our journey here, we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. Well, at the beginning, we always take this special opportunity to welcome every member of the community, but especially those who have joined us recently or over the course of the past year. So first, I want to begin with honoring those just in a reprise of those that we awarded for years of service at the end of the last academic year. 570 years of service, combined dedication through all of our colleagues, and that look of pride and joy which we were so able to share together on that special day. So once again, we never take that service, your presence, and your dedication for granted. Now, as we welcome the newest members of our community, first I would like to introduce to you Dr. Oliver Evans, Jr. Some of you have met him. He comes to us this year as our interim provost. He has served as in the presidencies of other colleges and universities. He has served in interim roles as provost, helping other institutions in the kind of transition that we are undergoing right now, brings to us a gentle spirit, a wise and keen sense of insight, and a great eagerness to work with us over the course of this year. So first, let's welcome Dr. Evans, who will introduce two of our new deans, and we'll move on through academic affairs. Please welcome Dr. Evans.
Thank you very much. I am delighted to be a part of this institution as it moves to becoming a university. It's always interesting to be new because every institution has its own gentle and playful ways, and I am getting to know those every day. but it is a pleasure to be able to introduce to you two new deans to this university. Dr. Joe Sprangle, Dean of the College of Business and Professional Studies, and Dr. Martha Walker, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'll ask them to introduce new people in their colleges.
Thank you. Hi, I'm happy to introduce our new faculty in College of Arts and Sciences, and I'll ask them to stand up. Dr. Sarah Andrews, Assistant Professor of Political Science. I guess it's not here. Oh, yes. And Dr. Carrie Cook, Assistant Professor of Theater and Shakespeare and Performance. I'll take a public opportunity to point out that given our theme this year, our university-wide theme of identity, and despite the legal constraints of the Internal Revenue Service, that Dr. Cook uses her name. And finally, Ms. Martha Saunders, Assistant Professor of Art.
And while Steve Mosier will be missed after a quarter century as the former director and founding director of the Healthcare Administration Program, I'm thrilled that Donovan Branch is now our second HCA director, so welcome.
We have one new addition in the College of Education. I'll ask her to stand. Many of you already know her. She's a local Stanton woman, and it's Carla Van Devender. She will be serving as instructor of education. She will be also working with students in an advising capacity and working very closely with our education leaders cohort.
I have the pleasure of introducing these following administrative appointments, and I'll just ask if you will hold your applause until I have introduced them all. Hillary Bride, the PEG Residence Hall Director. If she will stand, please. Nell Desmond, the Director of College to Career Center. Erica Jackson, Director of Residence Life. And Amber Ocasio, Director of Student Activities. In athletics, I have the pleasure of introducing Heather Eli, cross-country track and field head coach. I'm especially grateful to have had the opportunity in the past week or so to get to know Dr. Whiteman, and I am delighted and very, very grateful that she has agreed to serve as interim director as well as associate professor of anthropology. And finally, I have the pleasure of introducing the visiting scholar artist for 2016-2017, Diana Cooper. Thank you.
On behalf of my amazing VWIL staff, I'd like to introduce you to and reintroduce you to a new member of our staff who joined us in June. She graduated from Mary Baldwin in May. And that's Danielle Rose. Danielle.
Now I'm going to ask General Jurek to come back, but I have something of great joy to share with you today. Vice President for Enrollment Management, Lois Williams, is not here with us because she and her husband are in West Virginia preparing to return with their newborn adopted son, whose name is, and you have to hear the name because it's really quite regal, James Edward Duncan Williams.
So on behalf of Lois, I have the great pleasure of introducing some friends of mine from the outstanding admissions staff, and I'm introducing but also reintroducing because they've had a chain of command, people getting promoted. So first up for our Welcome Center is Mary Barker. And as you can see, Allison Birch moved up to Assistant Director of Admissions Operations. Okay. Matt Jones took on a new responsibility, Coordinator for Future Student Communications. And Amanda Johnson as one of our admissions counselors. Alexis Quinn was also hired as an admissions counselor. So RJ Landon, he's she. Hi, RJ. Alex also joined us a couple of months ago. He's an admissions counselor. And Billy Saul, another admissions operations specialist. Megan's moving up over to Assistant Director of Financial Aid. Megan. Allison Umali, she's taking on the Senior Admissions Counselor role. And rounded out by Amber Wilkins, Interim Director of Admissions. Great. This is the team that helps us raise enrollment in every one of our programs. Thanks.
Well, good morning. You all look great this morning. So I'm going to introduce and or reintroduce employees who are new to Mary Baldwin or have taken on enriched new positions. So I ask that you hold your, what I know will be a raucous applause till the end. So let me first start with facilities management, where we have a new member of our community supported through generous support of the DuPont Fund. His name is Sam Stoner. Sam, are you here? Yes, Sam is our new sustainability coordinator. Hold your raucous applause. Sam's got one of the coolest jobs on campus, I have to tell you. Welcome, Sam. Then we have in facilities management, we have Howard Bird, who is an absolute rock star of an engineering mechanic. We're very lucky to have him, so welcome, Howard. Glenn Fitzgerald, vehicle mechanic and groundskeeping. Edna Fix, housekeeper. Debbie Foltz, housekeeper. Corey Cagney, engineering technician, moving up into that role. We're pleased with that. Wade Miller, groundskeeper. That's our facilities management crew. Yeah! Good job. Okay. That's a university welcome. Dining services. Most of them will not be here because they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, supporting our students. Yvette Akers, administrative assistant. I know Tracy is extremely happy to have her on board. Woody Kuhn, dining room orderly. Christian Durrett, assistant university cafe manager. Did you catch that? University cafe. Come check it out. Adrian Gilmer in the pantry. Brian Huffman, utility. Patrick Kirby, utility. And Matt McGann, cook. Let's see. Few more. Maria Morabato Baker, Christopher Sorrell, sous chef, and Asian Tugman in the pantry. So that's our dining services team. Okay, campus safety. We welcome Mike Hendrick, security officer. Welcome, Mike. Okay, and in the world of finance, we're restructuring. So we are extremely pleased that we have individuals who are moving up and over. First, we have Patty Davis, who is moving from the lower campus to the upper campus. Anyone who's been here 30 years has the right to move wherever they want to, right? Yes. Yeah, so Patty is assuming the position of associate controller working in the controller's office. So she's going to be able to put to work all of those 30 years in a new and enriched role. That allows and provides the opportunity for Linda Fretwell to move up into a supervisory role over student accounts, so we celebrate her success. And Debbie Snyder is moving to a different role as accounting coordinator. So a lot of changes there. We're going to send out an email that's going to explain who you go to for what, because some things are changing. So those are all the changes within our division and new employees as well. So thank you so much.
Good morning. On behalf of Murphy-Deming College of Health Sciences, Academic Affairs and Admissions and Student Services, it's my pleasure to introduce to you some new faculty and staff and some transitions that have happened. Dr. Debbie Diaz, Associate Professor in the Physical Therapy Program. She comes to us from California. Ms. Pam Dressler, who is Assistant Professor in the RN to BSN program, which, by the way, is doing absolutely outstanding, and we're really proud of that. Dr. Jennifer Hancock. Jennifer is our bridge between Murphy-Deming and the RCW women's programs. She is the director of the Health Sciences major, and we welcome Jennifer. She also teaches in the anatomy lab in the summertime, so we love having her around 12 months. Dr. Sandy Wagner is assistant professor in the occupational therapy program. Sandy, welcome. Miss Martha Williams joins us as assistant professor and director of clinical education for the PA program. We're so glad to have you. Okay, I'm going to introduce Martha Modlin. She's not here today. She is my right-hand person and assistant dean. She's transitioned into that position this summer. She, as well as Cindy Bono, are very ill, and we've got something going around Murphy-Deming, so you may want to stay away for a little while. We know who brought it in, by the way. I won't mention the name. Mindy Beaumont has transitioned to the Associate Director of Admissions. Mindy, we're glad you're with us. Debbie Bibbins, who was over in ADP, is now the Executive Assistant, and Debbie is actually holding down the fort because everybody else is sick today. So we're glad to have Debbie on hand. She's been wonderful. Mike Dunaway. And Mike, are you here? No, he's not. He's working because we're in class this week. We've transitioned him to our Interprofessional Simulation Center coordinator. And have I gotten everyone? And then Chuck Reed's also our lead facilities coordinator. We're very grateful for these folks and the amount of support we've received from all of you as we've grown into an almost 300 student body at Murphy-Deming. Thank you.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce new roles for a couple of long-standing members of our community. Carrie Boyd has transitioned into the role of institutional reporting and research coordinator. Carrie is not here this morning because she's also serving as the gateway advisor for the commuter student gateway, and she's with them at the moment. Michelle Gregory has moved from being simply a data analyst to being a data analyst and project manager, sorry. Her list of projects that she's helping us through is extensive and quite important, one of, not least of which, is the ERP conversion. And then several transitions that you all will become more familiar with over the course of the fall as we shift domain names for the college. And then we have some work with individual offices. So she has stepped into an expanded and essential role, and we're grateful.
In another bit of good family news, Sherry Mylott, the Vice President of Institutional Advancement, University Advancement now, is not here with us because she's moving her youngest daughter, Torian, into Chapman University today. So she'll be back shortly. But there is one new appointment that I would very much like to announce and ask Tamara Ridenour to recognize, as she assumes a very important role of Associate Vice President in University Advancement. Tamara. Now I'm going to ask, I don't think everybody is necessarily in the order or here as listed here, but we are very proud, as always, to have the first executive committee of the Student Government Association elected as officers of the Mary Baldwin College for Women in Mary Baldwin University. So I want to give them the chance to say their titles and introduce themselves. And I'm honored to, Megan Edwards, our president, would start, please.
Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Megan Edwards. I'll be serving as your SGA president. Aaliyah Jo, will you please stand? She'll be serving as our vice president. And then our SGA secretary is Sharon Rao. Our SGA treasurer, Erica Haynes. Our RHA chairwoman was Zarina Morton. Our honor council chairwoman, Mary Ruth Wassam Fisher. Our judicial board chairwoman is Phoenix Wilson. She could not join us today. And our Baldwin Program Board Chair, Samuel Irons. Our lead advocate, Acacia Rogers. Our inter-club council chairwoman, Madeline Stout. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Megan. And they have already held a weekend of leadership training, and we have many fine conversations over the past few days. I have great confidence in them in helping us in this very important time of transition. So I now call upon Krista Cabe, who is our Senior Vice President for University Relations.
Good morning. We've had a very fun summer. It's my great pleasure this morning to introduce to you Matt Small, back up here. He's our web designer developer. He joined us in October. He brought to us not only a degree in digital graphic design, but also great expertise in information architecture, best practices in web development, technical underpinnings, and an amazingly energetic creative spirit that has meshed so well with our entire creative team. So Matt, we're glad to have you. And I will say, since we're sharing family information, that he's also the joyfully proud new father of a baby girl named Harper. So as I said, we have had a busy summer, and in fact, we've had a busy few years. Those of you who have been here the last couple of years have been to many presentations and forums and discussions as we talked about how we would rebrand as Mary Baldwin University. There was about 18 months of research, several months of discovery and conversations, developing the brand platform, and then another several months of developing a really full visual identity, which is just terrific. And we have a 100-page brand guide. I will say that as we have shared this with our enrollment marketing partners, as they prepare to do work for us this year, I've heard comments from people who have been working in enrollment management and marketing in higher ed for 30 to 40 years, and they say they have never seen work this good. I have to say kudos to my entire team. Many other schools that are as complex as we are have twice as many creative communication staff and would never dream of trying to do this in-house. So with a very lean and focused staff, we did amazing work completely in-house with a little bit of help on the brand platform piece. So I do want to introduce my staff. I know you know them, but I want to recognize them. Pam Dixon, Senior Designer. Phoebe West, Graphic Designer. Dawn Medley, Director of Marketing Communication. Matt Small, whom I just introduced. Morgan Smith is our webmaster and social media manager. Liesl Crozier, our director of news and media relations and pinch hitter on university transition. And Leighton Caruth, our communication assistant, with whom at which we would not get things done. So, our brand. Today is the soft launch of the Mary Baldwin University brand. Back in the spring, I told you you may not use your new business cards until August 31st. Well, I've changed my mind. We're giving them to you today. You can start using your business cards and the things that we're going to hand out to you at the reception after this. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're going to get today. I will say that we're going to continue to roll out the brand through the year. The new website launches next week. We'll have various essential new materials, but there are lots of things that we will need a little bit later in the year that we'll continue to do. So we're going to be on this train for a while. And again, I know some of you went through these conversations with us over the last year, but I want to crystallize out for you what our brand platform is. And that is that we are a place where people have the foresight to see possibility, to understand potential, to the courage to act on that and make things happen, and finally, a strong and profound commitment to community and to each other. Foresight, courage, and commitment. So our visual identity was developed to try to explain and represent those things. We have our official emblems. You saw the seal earlier. This is one version of our new Mary Baldwin University logo. Of course, there's specified typography, color palette, photo style, graphic elements, etc. And it's all in this brand guide. You'll be getting a pocket version of that in your brand bags when we hand those out today. I want to say a little bit in particular about our colors. Our colors have been for a long, long time, over a century, yellow and white. Those are our official school colors. Green kind of crept into usage so that we would have a dark color as a foil, but it kind of took over. And one of the things that, as we talked through the brand platform, our key messages, our core identity, we thought it was really important that we reclaim the legacy of our yellow and white. Because yellow, the color psychology tells us that yellow is the color of sunshine and sunflowers and bumblebees. It's associated with the creative spirit, with a sense of inquiry, with acquired knowledge, with a sense of optimism and hope and possibility. That's our color. This is our color. It's not a sickly, lemony yellow. It's a nice, bright, warm, sunflower marigold. The color is marigold. Let's claim it and own it. Along with the white, we say at commencement when we have the hoods for our graduates that they are lined with white because that's the color of the liberal arts. It encompasses all colors. It has a sense of idealism and purity and focus. So our colors are yellow and white, and we have a lovely variety of accent colors to brighten it up, subdued neutrals to create the foil for our bright colors. We're very, very proud of our colors, and let's really own them. Despite the fact that sometimes they're a little difficult to design with, our design team is up to it. So, over at the reception, you'll get your brand bag, and in there, as I said, will be a little mini version, and there's also an online toolkit where you can download your logos and the things that you need. And I will say that we have a really high standard of quality, and that's why we're asking everybody as you download those logos and apply them to things, let us see them and make sure that they're applied correctly. And one of the things is it's really hard sometimes to get everything exactly right, and one of our vendors didn't get everything right, and we have high standards, so some of you ordered name tags and they're not going to be in your bags because we've sent them back. They're not good enough, they're skewed, they don't look right, they don't represent Mary Baldwin University well. So we're reordering yours. If you don't have yours in your name in your bag, don't worry, we're getting it for you. You will have your new Mary Baldwin University faculty staff ID. You will have your new business cards if you ordered them, and a notepad with our logo on it, and finally a lapel pin which Dr. Fox is already wearing hers. I haven't put mine on yet, but I will. And it's the Mary Baldwin University logo, 175 years. So thank you very much for all your support and patience with us. We look forward to the rollout over the course of the year.
So as Krista leaves the podium, and also to give you a point of break before the State of the College, I can't overestimate the amount of creativity and constant dedication that's gone on in that little workroom this summer. Will you please give a standing ovation to the Office of University Relations for all that you are about to see here. I do need my notebook. This is a new MBU notebook. So thanks to everyone very much. And yes, please, if there are still some seats, if you would like to be seated. Well, good morning again, and good morning from the newly renovated Francis Auditorium. Thanks to the leadership of Dr. Amy Sposato and the Heifetz International Music Institute, and for the support of our community. You can enjoy your more comfortable seat. You can view the nameplates in front of you of those in the community who have purchased seats, and look up. You will feel more comfortable because all of these lights have been replaced, and all of those lights put together take up the same amount of energy as this one behemoth. So there are many dimensions. I think we still have a few of those in case you'd like any special odd souvenir of the building renovation. But gathered here in the auditorium today are faculty, staff, and our Mary Baldwin College for Women student leaders. Welcome to our classes at Murphy-Deming who are watching in Fishersville, as classes have already begun. Welcome to our online students across the Commonwealth. Welcome to our alumni across the country. Welcome to our leadership boards watching virtually, and to our valued community members. We can all see the future together. I issue a special invitation to each one of us to be part of this special time of celebration and commemoration, because this morning we launch a magnificent milestone in our history. We eagerly await next Wednesday, August 31st at 11 a.m. on Page Terrace, when we hold our Charter Day ceremony, officially becoming Mary Baldwin University and launching our Quarto Septennial. Today is not the customary state of the college, outlining our annual strategic goals, enrollment projections, and budget outlooks. This is the first state of the university address. To be sure, this year, just like the 174 that came before it, there is vital and urgent work to be advanced to move the university ahead. But today is the day to claim our space as a small, distinctive, coeducational university with the Mary Baldwin College for Women at its center. Our annual theme this year is identity. We are MBU. Let's launch that spirit in these moments. Revel in our successes. Relish our history. Celebrate our 175 years of foresight, courage, and commitment. See possibility everywhere and potential for the future. We are in control of our narrative. It's time to emphasize our pride. We rise and fall by our mindset. Our mindset shapes our reality. We have iron will. Ham and jam are not underdogs. They are cast in stone, although you do have to wonder how they felt about being dethroned as Caesar and Pompey or even Blucher and Wellington and renamed for Sunday supper. But alas, we can't ask them. We have the ability to stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, so let's climb high. Let's begin by actually ascending above ourselves with the beautiful area vistas of our campus that are on the new Mary Baldwin University homepage. Isn't it beautiful? I have to say, I think Mary Julia Baldwin is looking down on us, and I know she is smiling. Try to stay in that place for the next 15 minutes. We have the vista to not only appreciate all we have created that is MBU, but to understand the legacy of our past and to see the future. Upon the 50th anniversary of the seminary, there was no celebration, although the board's renaming of Mary Baldwin Seminary in 1895 punctuated the golden period. The Joseph A. Waddell History of the Mary Baldwin Seminary was published in 1905, and the 30 years after Mary Julia Baldwin's death were a very difficult period. Death and departures of strong leaders, faculty, and staff among us has always had a profound effect on this close community. This period was a long push to junior college in 1916, and finally Mary Baldwin College in 1923 was overly protracted in its journey, and even then the transition was incomplete at the time of the name change. At the time of the First World War, no 75-year celebration was held in 1917. However, despite the strictures imposed by World War II and intense enrollment financial pressures, there was a substantial centennial celebration and commencement in 1842. The richly documented Waters history was published, and King Gymnasium, the residence hall, was erected. President Roosevelt sent congratulations saying, quote, "Mary Baldwin has sent out 5,000 alumni who have special distinction." Mrs. Roosevelt lauded the college, saying, "We were the beginning of higher education for women in Virginia." At that time of the centennial, President Jarman said, and I quote, "Many women's colleges have died. We endure through a wise synthesis of the functional and the philosophic, thinking in terms of the complete personality, students who are searching for a long life of integrity with purpose." He went on, "We continue to emerge from each crisis with a larger ideal, a heightened consciousness, a release of moral energies that make change possible, the cutting away of outworn ideas, and the deepened appreciation of what is vital and essential." Many of you here today probably took part in the grand sesquicentennial celebration in 1992, a multi-dimensional appreciation of significant advances of the institution and a highly successful fundraising campaign. Specially commissioned music, Pat Menk's wonderful history to live in time, faculty panels, the honoring of distinguished alumni, the honoring of President Tyson and Tyson Terrace, the building of our panel center, and the sesquicentennial medallions were but part of a very inspiring year. Now it's our turn. It's our quarto sepcentennial. Next Wednesday, we will engage in the solemnity of academic procession, resound our joy with herald trumpets, be called to the occasion by the multicultural drumming brilliance of Pascal Young. Listen as Heifetz musicians perform a Schumann work written in 1842 and a special arrangement of the hymn to Mary Baldwin. We will hoist our new MBU flag for the first time. The pealing of area church bells and our own class bell, the gift of the class of 2015, shall officially ring in MBU. Governor McAuliffe has proclaimed August 31st as Mary Baldwin University Day across the Commonwealth of Virginia. We will have Congressman Goodlad with us, as well as elected officials from Stanton, Augusta County, and Representatives Bell and Senator Hanger to share proclamations. A centerpiece of our ceremony will be the passing of our new MBU charter to student representatives from our constellation of communities: the Mary Baldwin College for Women, Baldwin Online and Adult Programs, the Murphy-Deming College of Health Sciences, Shakespeare and Performance, and the College of Education. They will process with banners designating each of their designated areas. Between the great pillars of Grafton will hang the new banners of our 4 academic colleges. This moment signals something vital that we need to relish from our aerial view. We know this is not just a change in name. It is our point of public metamorphosis, not of plans we have, but of the university we have created, of the university that is in place. Mary Baldwin College for Women claims its rightful and historic name. After 36 years, ADP and distance education emerges as Baldwin Online and Adult Programs. And after matriculating the first student on Father's Day in 2014, the more than 300 students in the Murphy-Deming College of Health Sciences, their faculty, staff, and administration have achieved stunning success beyond any of our expectations. How proud we will be of the first doctoral graduates in physical therapy and occupational therapy when they cross the stage at our quarto sepcentennial commencement in May. Shakespeare and Performance continues to rise to higher levels of excellence. And as part of the ceremony, we will highlight our long-standing commitment to community engagement at the global and local level, brought, of course, to one central home in 2007 through the Spencer Center for Civic and Global Engagement. Through the leadership of the Advisory Board of Visitors, we will kick off a year of 175 service projects. The amazing trip that our students have just returned from Haiti is the first, sets the bar as that first project. We will have a website for all alumni and friends across the country to log in their projects in their community as well as their acts of goodwill. We hope this will truly be 175 to the power of the Baldwin community. And you can follow me in lighter moments of our history at Pres P. Fox. So revitalize your Twitter account if you're not on there every day, because it shall start. Also on the ceremony, as we publicly proclaim our university identity, we will announce several new initiatives, including a $1 million gift to support and endow new graduate programs in business, as well as our new cohorts and a new online master's degree in Murphy-Deming. Our foresight to see possibility everywhere is never on pause, and our courage to act upon them never fails. We lift up Mary Julia Baldwin. She is our Thomas Jefferson, our James Madison. we aspire not to be like those other great institutions, but to bring to prominence the synergistic advantages of our deliberately small university that serves the entire spectrum of higher education in age, class, religion, ethnicity, through a series of inclusive, innovative programs that no one else has dreamed of, let alone brought into existence and raised to the level that Mary Baldwin has raised them. We claim the public space why institutions like Mary Baldwin matter in the Commonwealth and why they matter in the United States. Following the ceremony next Wednesday, we will open the renovated University Cafe and panel, as well as the renovated Tyson Terrace, which will feature that beautiful seal that was the class gift of the class of 2016. We're eager to welcome all of those who will be with us from far and wide and cap the day with the ceremonial groundbreaking for the renovation of the Alumni House as our Quarto Sepcentennial project. Our alumni are the legacy of Rufus Bailey, Mary Julia Baldwin, the succession of dedicated leaders, and all of the faculty and staff who welcome these daughters home. I am frequently asked, who are your famous alumni? Well, I certainly don't respond to Lula Bankhead, who raised eyebrows, raised heck, and got expelled. So who are our famous alumni? I say, all of them. Each graduate carries the spirit of this institution as an empowered leader pursuing a life of purpose. So, after the groundbreaking, we will uncork our official MBU wine. We are saving the 2 special Lolita glasses for October so that we can hold a toast for Mary Julia's birthday. Delicious chocolates from Cocoa Mill, MBU beer, and special Sunspot commemorative elements we'll also have. We'll continue our 175th anniversary this year. Now let me stop for a minute because these were out of order and I want to give credence to this. Just returned from this, the first of our 175 community service projects. Just a few glimpses of the power of the commitment that happened on this trip to Haiti. Well, all those of you who are here are on that trip, and if you're not here in Murphy-Deming, raise your hand anyway. Anybody here part of that trip? Yes. Thank you. Congratulations. So here are the remainder of our 175th anniversary events. Each one celebrates a key constituency. So Founders Day, obviously celebrating our founders and leaders. Our fall board meetings, that will be a combination of our leadership boards and special opportunity to celebrate faculty and staff. Our all alumni reunion in April, and concluding, of course, with our 175th commencement on May 21st. Yesterday, the first Mary Baldwin University signs were installed by the City of Stanton to direct visitors to our campus. Today, MBU banners are going up on Beverly Street. As we take pride in the visible signs of this commemoration, let's find ways to remind our friends and neighbors that Mary Baldwin University is the University of Stanton and Augusta County. What we have and continue to do to shape the cultural environment that has made Stanton a national destination, our contributions to the economic vitality of this region, and the service and leadership that members of our academic community have contributed since our founding. This includes Dr. Patricia Menk as the first female mayor of Stanton, graduate Rita Wilson as the first African-American councilwoman, the loyal and ongoing service of our faculty on our school boards and on city council, and 175 years of educating our citizenry. Our long-standing dedication to the African-American and minority communities goes back to Mary Julia Baldwin herself, who taught young black children to read on Sunday afternoons. In recent years, our outreach, connection, and concentric spheres of influence have multiplied through the Spencer Center and the work of all of the dedicated members in this community, too numerous to list. So in this year of daily conversations, take opportunity to share pride in what you have done, for each of you has made a difference. What your colleagues have done. Let the buzz of the community be audible as the year proceeds. As I have been reading and rereading the approximately 1,700 pages of our 4 histories, taking in the astonishing amount of change driven by foresight, courage, and grit, I have applied the lenses of our DNA at pivotal points, at crisis points, during long periods of inaction. How did the attributes of foresight, seeing possibilities, intersect with the courage to act? And how did the commitment to community interplay? Rufus Bailey saw and seized the opportunity to create an educational institution for young women founded in the breadth of classical studies. The trustees of First Presbyterian Church acted upon his plan courageously, and the Augusta Female Seminary was born with acclaim and commitment from Stanton. After Mary Julia and Agnes McClung took over in 1863, despite the privations of the Civil War, they were not preoccupied with the urgent need to put food on the table. Mary Julia Baldwin immediately worked with Dr. McGuffey to create a plan of instruction for the highest quality curriculum for women organized in schools. When Mary Julia created the Conservatory of Music in 1871, she demonstrated the foresight to create the first music conservatory in the South based upon shrewd business sense. Indeed, its high enrollment, higher tuition, rigorous program of study brought the seminary to a new financial high point. She even knew how to leverage a Confederate war bond into a nice piano. As our path to university metamorphosis truly began in the 1970s, we exercised the possibility to see what didn't exist anywhere through the first adult degree program in the Commonwealth and then PEG. Even venturing into graduate education in 1992 required a level of foresight, but perhaps more a well of courage to finally move beyond the baccalaureate. Sometimes we seized upon opportunity that was presented to us and made opportunities our own, as with VWIL and the graduate programs in Shakespeare and performance. Great courage, risk-taking, and creativity all brought them into brilliant form. Murphy Deming was another matter entirely. We extensively scanned possibilities, seized a combination of graduate programs to complement our mission and build a national presence of interprofessional curricular synergy. It was audacious to break ground for the new campus and build the programs now respected after only 3 years in the Commonwealth and beyond. I can't mention everything, but how our foresight is animated by courage clearly rests on our profound commitment to community. We value each voice in our community, but juggling the counterpoint of community at the nexus and pace of change is that tricky little place that our graduate Christian Peel referred to. Considering our boards, our faculty, staff, current students, alumni, community members, donors, and more, harmony is not always in a major key and modulations are felt. But in our shifting knot of community, each constituency has taken a lead in acting upon various possibilities at various times. Steadfast courage brought us to this day. It propels us to the future. Together, colleagues, we have experienced a knot of community counterpoint over the past 8 years in particular. It is this contrapuntal woof and woof of our community's commitment that ensures the balance of our future. So as you receive your bag of MBU materials, please take a few moments to celebrate and thank yourself. Dwell for once on some of the ways that you have made a difference to this community. How have you contributed to this metamorphosis? We need you, each one of you. We love you. All of you watching from a distance, take the same time to pause on both what Mary Baldwin gave to you and also your impact in this remarkable university. This is the time, this is our time for seeing possibility within us, within our students, and all around us. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you. Before we adjourn to get the goodies and the goodie bags and the goodie snacks, it is an important moment that we rise to pledge together annually our inclusivity. Please join me. We, the community of Mary Baldwin University, strive to celebrate humanity in all its wondrous and complex variation. Because we value diversity, it is our mission to sustain a community where all may flourish. We are safe to explore our shared experiences and our differences. To this end, we treat all with respect and compassion. Thank you. See you outside.